Yo, what is up everyone? Bullitt Gaming here today, and today we're going to be playing some more Greenville here, and today we're going to be showing you guys some must-own cars in Greenville here. So today we're going to first off be starting with the newly remodeled 2023 Dodge Charger, specifically the Daytona trim, as this trim I honestly would say is better than the Hellcat Red Eye trim. Maybe not in terms of speed, but in terms of looks and fun, I would honestly say this car is better. The reason I would say this is because we never had a Daytona trim before, and it's really nice to finally have a Daytona trim here. And this car also just looks really, really nice. Like, in any color pretty much, this car will look nice, and it's very, very fun to drive. It may not be as fast as the Charger Hellcat Red Eye, but it's just about as fast. And with this new model, it's very fun to finally have a new model also. So this is, as you can see, the 2023 Dodge Charger. The entire 2021 Dodge Charger was redone to be a 2023, and now we actually have a new trim added. So this trim is the Daytona, or known as the 2023 Bullhorn Prancer SFP Fury. Some of the trims were messed up when these cars were remodeled, but this trim, of course, was messed up, but it's really, really nice. So I have it in Tour Red Clear Coat with 20 low gloss black drag rims. So we're going to do a quick start up here on this car, and alright, and rev here. And I have an entire video dedicated to reviewing the 2023 Charger, which includes this Charger, which I'll have up there for you guys to watch. But this Charger is absolutely awesome and has been remodeled from the ground up, and could be the beginning of non-fictional cars coming back to Greenville, as we first had the Renault 5 up here, and now we have the 2023 Bullhorn Prancer, or Dodge Charger. So this was remodeled in the middle of the week, a few weeks ago, and was not supposed to come. Now, whether the limited trim of this model is going to ever come, I don't know, but at least we have some nice remodeled trims here other than the 2021 version. Now, as for all the models, apparently the GT trim was also updated, so the GT trim should now be a 2023. Therefore, there are no more 2021 Dodge Chargers technically left, and all you can get is a 2023 Charger. And these cars are absolutely awesome, so I don't know why you wouldn't want to get one. But yeah, that is our first must-own car of Greenville, and now we're going to move on to our second car. Alright, now our second car in this series, or whatever you want to call it, is the 2019 Chevy Corvette H1000. Now, I know this is the H1300, but they're very closely related, and I thought, since I have this, I might as well show you guys still why this car is good and why the other one. Now, I do have a full review of the H1000, which I'll have up in the corner, and I'll be going over some stuff there. But this car is really nice, and so is the H1000. Now, when I say this car, I'll be talking about the H1000 from now on. The H1000, instead of having a wing back here, like the H1300, has a little lip. And it is about as fast as this car, has 9 miles per gallon, and is at a 200-something thousand price tag, which is definitely going to be worth it. Now, that car is the non-limited version of this car, and it's just about as fast as this car. This car would beat it, of course, as it's the limited version, but if this car was not here, that car would be the fastest drag car in the game, and it's really, really fast. So, again, the review was up there already, but you guys can go check that out. And this car does come with an interior here, both versions. So if we come over to here, we can come in the interior here, and the screens are off as of now, but when I turn the car on, they will turn on. We have lights that you can turn on in the interior by pressing G, and you have multiple different colors here, which is in the video, of course, the review. And we're for now gonna just keep it at the red or orange, whatever that matches the interior. Now we also have turn signals on the mirrors here, which is the first car to actually have that, which is pretty cool. And if we were to go outside, we have the turn signals up there, and then for the back we have sequential turn signals. We also have the brake lights there, and then for the front, low and high beams are right there. Now, if we were to go start up the car here, we have this startup, which is the same as the H1000 and the same rev. And those two are both the same as the H1000 here. Now, if we were to go into the car here, in the interior, the screens are now on here, so if I was to turn on my hazards, you do actually get little blinker things that turn on the dashboard here. And if I was to turn on my lights, we also have lights that turn on in the interior, along with two little indicators on the screen here that is for low and high beams here. And on the interior, we have lights on the steering wheel, which are orange, and we have two blue, what would be window lights on both sides here, which is pretty nice. So yeah, that is the H1000 here, or H1300 that we have here, but it's the same car. If you would like the full review, again, you can go back, and I'll have the timestamp up on screen, or I'll have the video, and you can go watch the full review. Now let's move on to our next car. Our next car here would be the 2008 Bullhorn Python or 2008 Dodge Viper Hennessy 650R. Now, I know you don't see a lot of people driving this car, and you may think, oh, it's not that cool, just skip over this part. But I ask that you watch this part, as this car is absolutely awesome. Now, I have a full review dedicated to this car specifically, and again, I'll have it up there. But this car is probably the best car you could have in Greenville for obvious reasons once I start the car and rev it. But it is a very old model, which I can see would deter some people here. So if we put the brake lights on here, we could tell that they're definitely not anything new at all. But that doesn't mean anything when you listen to this car. So we're going to start up the car here, and I'll show you guys what I mean when I rev the car here. So let's start up the car here first. Alright, normal Viper startup here, but now let's go rev this car. Also have another clip of turbo sounds up on screen. But, yes, that is a turbo. This is the only car in Greenville that has, like, real turbo sounds here. Now, I know on some trucks, specifically, I think the Ford F-250 from, like, 2005-ish, around there, in Greenville, they do have, like, a turbo sound when you start it up. You can kind of hear, like, a whistle here there. But, you don't get it when you drive the car. But that's the cool thing about this car. Even when you're driving this car, you still hear the turbo sound, and it's absolutely awesome. Sometimes you could get really, really, really nice blow-off sounds. Again, I'll have that clip up on screen. But those blow-off sounds are absolutely awesome. And even just to rev this car, it's so fun. Just the sound of the turbo here. Now, I know you don't quite hear the whistle of the turbo here, but at least you get to hear the blow-off, which is, in my opinion, the best part. And sometimes you can get the perfect blow-offs, and it just sounds so good. So yeah, I do have an entire review dedicated to this car here, but we're going to go over everything else about this car. So we have only low beams here, which light up the two that would technically the high beams. On the front and then on the back, the two side brake lights, of course, turn on. The third brake light only turns on when you press the brakes. For the reverse lights, we have it right down there. And then for the turn signals, hazards, we have them down there. And on the side up here in the front, on both sides. So yeah, this car, even though it's a really old model, I would say is worth it. It's $250,000, and I would honestly say it's probably the best Heen car aside from the H1000 slash H1300 Corvettes. As, I mean, what other car in Greenville has this nice of a turbo sound? Like, no other car in Greenville has that kind of sound. And for those of you who really love turbos, this is definitely the car for you. So I would suggest go checking it out. It's the 2008 Bullhorn Python, and the trim is Heen Poison TT. And I have it currently in red clear coat with Heen 6-spoke rims. And it is an absolutely awesome car. So I would suggest going and getting it for $250,000. Now let's move on to our next car. The next car we have here is a 2021 Ford Mustang GT500 or 2021 Falcon Stallion Belco GT500. Now, this car made it on the list for a not very known, I would say, reason here. So this car is a very, very nice car, obviously. But this car can do a lot more than just go fast. This car actually can drift better than any other car in Greenville. So if I was to go take the car over there, which I will in a bit, you will see what I mean. And I'm pretty sure I have a review entirely dedicated to this car stuff, so I will have it up there. But we're gonna do a quick startup here, so let's do that here. And then rev. Now, of course, this car is an older model, but it's still got some updated lights, as we can see here in the back. And the turn signals are, of course, updated. But if we were to turn on the lights here, we can see that they're not the newest and greatest. We do have low and high beams, though, which is nice. At least we have that. And then when you do turn on the car, these three, whatever they're called, do come on here. Now, we currently have hazards on, but if you do turn on a singular turn signal, you actually have sequential turn signals only on the back, no sequential turn signals on the front or on the mirror. Now, we're gonna go take this car up to the front over here, and I'll show you guys what I mean by this car being a nice drift car. So, it does have a bit of a slow acceleration if you don't go into neutral and shift up here, but if I was to do that, you actually can drift decently well around the dealership, which is pretty fun. It's the only really car you can do this in, and it's very, very fun to do it in. Now, I'm probably not doing it the best right now because I'm talking, and as you guys know, I cannot multitask here. I cannot multitask in general, so it's probably not the best drifting, but if I wasn't to be talking, I could do better. But yeah, this car is really fun to just take out drifting. You don't need any rain or anything. All you need to do is just turn off traction control and get some speed and just brake, take some corners, turn. It's really, really fun. And even if you have no experience drifting, you'll figure it out. I taught myself, and it doesn't take long to learn how this car works. But it is a very fun car to just drift around in. And that's why this car is so high up on the list. It's just a generally fun car. From what I know, none of the other GTs, which would be GT350, GT350R from the 2017 Mustang, really do this. This one does it the best, and might be the only one that does it. And it's pretty nice and fun. So, you know, maybe consider this one. Now, I don't remember the exact price, but I'll have the exact price up on screen. And I would definitely consider buying this car when you get the money too, because this car is absolutely awesome, and I would say the funnest car, or one of the funnest cars in Greenville. So yeah, that is the 2021 Ford Mustang GT500 here, and I currently have it in rapid red clear coat with Belco 5 twin-spoke rims here. Now, let's move on to the next car. Our next car is the 2020 or 2021, I forgot. Overland Apache Heen H1000 here. So this car is a 1,000 horsepower SUV, which would be the Jeep Grand Cherokee. And this car does, I'm pretty sure, actually exist. So this car is, of course, a 1,000 horsepower Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. And this car is really a lot better than you would think, actually, for an SUV. Um, this car is, of course, 1,000 horsepower, but it's really, really nice. And it, of course, like the license plate says, has like 0 miles per gallon. It drinks gas. It drinks gas. And I mean, this car can go really fast, obviously, because it's a Hennessy. And it actually would be the second fastest car if you excluded the H1300 here, which is really nice. So this car would be the second fastest Hennessy car, technically, and second fastest drag car, aside from, of course, the Speedtail here, in Greenville. So, this car, we're going to start up here real quick. Really nice start up there, and rev. So it does pretty much have the same sound as the 2023 Challenger there, but it's really nice, and of course this car actually shoots flames, so this is a really, really nice, fast car that you can get. I don't remember how much. I'll have the price up on screen, but I definitely think it's worth it. I'm not too sure if I have a review dedicated to this car, and if so, I will have it up in the corner. This car is definitely worth your money, and is a very, very fun car to have if you cannot afford the H1000. I would say if you can, get both the H1000 and this, because this car is really, really fun to drive. The suspension's really loose, so if you're going at like low speeds, you like look like you're gonna tip the car in a way. So yeah, it's a pretty fun car though. If I was to come out here, quickly get ready to drag it here, it'll go pretty fast. So there we go. Of course, it's not H1000 fast, but for an SUV, this is decently fast. We're getting up to speed really, really fast here, and it's pretty fast. It's the second fastest Hennessy car, and it's really, really fun to drive. You know, bring your whole family to Jailmobile is what I call it, for obvious reasons here. Again, I don't remember the price, but I'll have it up on screen, and it's just a generally fun car, and it's really actually hard to lose control of, I'm just realizing. So yeah, maybe consider getting this car when you can, after you get the H1000. This car is definitely, especially if you're going to be doing drag races a lot, or if you just want to have fun in a family roleplay, this is definitely the car for you, and it doesn't have very good steering, as I just found out. Anyway, moving on to the next car here. The next car we have here is any 2023 Dodge Challenger. I would go with specifically the Hellcat and Demon trims, but any trim really works. So, of course, this is the limited Demon 170 here, but it's still really, really nice, and I'm going to be reviewing specifically this one for today, but you can go pick up one in the dealer, and it is going to be just as good as this. Maybe not as fast, but about just as good as this. So here we have the 2023 Dodge Challenger SRT SRT Demon 170 here. And this car is technically the last car, because I did make it modeled after that for a video, which I'll have the link to up there. And I know I don't have a specific review for this car, but this car is absolutely awesome, and if I can, I will be doing a review on this car soon. But we're going to get in the car here, and we're going to start her up here real quick. Really, really nice startup. Now, I'm not sure if the rest of the Challengers have startups like this, but they should have something similar here. And rev. All Challengers should have this rev. Now, this car does not actually shoot flames, so you're not going to really get very many flames out of this car, but it's still a really nice car here. Now, the Challenger is just a really nice sounding car, really good looking car, and now that it's out of production, it's going to soon become a rare car. But in Greenville, it's just a really nice car that I would say you just might as well get. I mean, this car is very fun to drive. I honestly would have put it higher up on the list, but I mean, this car comes in a bit lower just because this is the Demon 170 trim. I'm not quite sure how the rest of the trims would perform, but I know, especially like the Demon and Hellcat trims, those will perform very well for you too. So this car is American sports car here and is very, very fast. Specifically, look at this one, the Demon 170. And the rest of them are also very, very fast, but they're not quite drag specific here, so you're not going to get one that's as drag specific as this. This one was a limited here. So we're going to do turn signals here, and there are no sequential turn signals, so this is what you have here. And we have, on the intakes here, we have the turn signals. Now, if I was to turn the lights on here, we would also get a, little light thing on there, on the, intakes there. So those are our low and then our high beams there, which are pretty nice. And, it's pretty nice, and if you were to turn the turn signals off, you'd still have the little yellow ring around there. So, each Challenger has its own unique hood scoop. For the Demon 170, it's a hood scoop. Now, if I was to change the color, you would see this better, but a hood scoop with black on it that runs from the hood scoop to the trunk here. For the Demon, it's just a hood scoop that's this same shape, just no stripe, you can call it. Hellcat Red Eye would be 2 hood scoops, one on this side, one on that side. And then the Hellcat would be 1 middle hood scoop and 2 like side vents, kind of like the Viper, the 2017 Viper. And there's more to it, but those are the 3 main top high performance ones here, which is pretty nice. So that is the Dodge Challenger, and I would definitely suggest getting it, as it's really, really worth your money. And no matter what trim you get, it's still going to be fun. As long as it's like a higher up trim, it's going to be really fun. And even if you get kind of a base model trim, it's still going to be fun. Maybe not as fun as maybe getting a Demon or SRT Hellcat, but hey, at least you'll have one of these beautiful cars here. So you can pick these up for I don't know how much, so of course I'll have the base price up on screen, and then I'll have the most expensive one up on screen too. But these cars are absolutely awesome, and I would suggest getting them as soon as you can. Of course, maybe going in the order that I said, with Charger being first. But I would definitely suggest getting this car soon, as this car is really, really nice, and has been recently remodeled and is one of the last actual non-fictional vehicles in Greenville. So it's going to be the most updated model you're going to pretty much get, other than the Charger. So yeah, moving on to our next car here, we have the Carrera GT here. So this car has also recently been remodeled and is a pretty nice car, and it's definitely not you know, the original model, and but it's in the 918 Spider. It's definitely not that either, but it's still a very, very fun car, and is the only really Porsche sports car slash hypercar in game, and is one of the few hypercars in game that's actually not a fake car. So we have the 2005, I'm pretty sure, 2007 Carrera GT here, and I have it in black. And the sad thing about this car, though, is that when Greenville remodeled it, they only gave you the red and red option or blue and blue option. There's no red on one side, blue on the other side option, which kind of sucks. But hey, at least we have this new model of it. So this car does have an interior. Yeah, I think you have beige, black, and then red interior. I have the red interior here. And as we can tell, it's very, very detailed and very, very new here. So it's a very smooth interior here. And we're going to go outside now and start the beautiful car here. So let's go right there. And then rev. And now, as we can see, this car doesn't shoot flames. But it doesn't really matter. This car is still very fun and is the best hypercar model that's not fictionalized that you're gonna get, as this was literally added like maybe 2-3 updates before the fictional car started to be added. So this is really a new car that you're gonna get. Now, turn signals are here. I do have a review coming out for of this car soon, so I won't be going full in-depth review here. We actually have 4 brake lights here, one on the active aero wing, and then one behind the driver. And yes, this car does have an active aero wing that comes up when you go above 50 or 60, I forgot. And your reverse lights down there. Now, if we were to turn on our headlights here, we have low and high beams there. And if we were to go into the interior with the headlights on, we would actually get a little high beams icon there. Now, you don't get a low beam icon, but you do get a high beam icon. If we were to turn on the turn signals, we also get a little turn signal on the dashboard there. And if we turn on the hazards, of course, we get it too. Of course, the steering wheel does work here, and it's pretty nice. And if you were to, of course, turn on the lights, the buttons on the interior do light up here. Now, if you were to turn off the lights, the buttons don't light up, or radio, or whatever. So yeah, this car is a very fun car. Full review will be coming out soon. But, you know, this car is $1.3 million, so maybe you might want to wait on getting this. Maybe you might want to wait till after you got all the rest of the cars in this little video. But, definitely, when you get the money, get it. Because this is pretty much the last really good non-fictionalized super or hypercar. The Speedtail is a really nice car too, but it's just an old model. It's not, I would say, worthy of this list. The old model is and I mean, yeah, it's speed, but it's really old model, and it's not really nice. But yeah, $1.3 million for this beauty, and all the trims with the interiors are all $1.3 million. None is more expensive than the other. So yeah, get this maybe last, as this car is definitely expensive and might not be within your budget for a little while. Our next car on this list is going to be the 2008 Aero Boomerang. So this IRL would be a 2008 Pontiac GTO, and here we have the oppressor trim. And even though this car was just added, I already love this car. So I know it's fictional, obviously, which kind of sucks, but this is still a really fun car here. So we're gonna go start the car up here in the back. Nice start up there, and then rev. Now, as you guys can see, this car does shoot flames, which is pretty nice. So, we have the oppressor trim here, which is pretty much the GTO, which is the black, I can't tell from carbon fiber hood, and then a black roof here, which is pretty nice. And it's a really fun car to have, even though it may be a bit old and it may be a fictionalized model. It is probably one of the funner fictional models that Greenville's made, and it still looks really close to the real GTO here, which is really nice. So, if we come back here, we have brake lights there, and then we got the turn signals right there, and then the reverse light right there. Now, if we come to the front, the turn signals on both sides are right there. Same for the hazards, obviously. If we were to turn on the lights, those are our low beams, and then those are our high beams. And then if we were to press N, we can actually get some fog lights down in the front here, if you see. Some fog lights, which is pretty nice. And yeah, this car, I don't know if I have a review on it yet, but a review definitely will be coming soon for this car. And it's a overall really nice car. It does have blacked out head or tail lights. I'm not sure if that's technically stock or if this is, I mean, because I don't know why you would put blacked out headlights on a car if it's stock, but I don't know. The oppressor trim might just be some kid who decided to make his GTO look a bit cooler, but nevertheless, it's still a very fun trim. And if this is not a really trim that you really like, then you could go get the Boomerang trim for about $31,000 and this trim for about $34,000, which is pretty nice. This is a pretty cheap car, but it's a very fun cheap car here. And currently I have mine in Spice Red with black 5-spoke rims here. And now the last car in this series is going to be the 2024 Ford Mustang here. So I would suggest getting, for this car, literally any trim. It doesn't matter. This car is very fun, and when it first came out, tons of people had this trim, and I bet you tons of people still have this trim and other trims here. This car is a very, very fun car and is, again, one of the last non-fictional cars added to Greenville, which is really nice. So we're gonna get in the car here real quick, and let's start her up. Alright, and then rev. Now, this car does shoot flames, which is pretty nice, and it's, again, one of the last non-fictional models added to Greenville here. And when you do turn on the car, these front three, whatever you want to call them, light bar things, turn on, which is pretty nice. Now, we have the Dark Horse model here, but there are also convertible models, which would be the GT Premium and EcoBoost Premium, I'm pretty sure. And those are just equally as fun. I have a full review of the car, and I'll have it up here. But it's a very, very fun car to have. The Dark Horse may be a bit, I guess, overpriced, I would say, for this kind of model. But it's still a really fun car. So, our reverse light is down there, and then our turn signals are up there, along with our brake lights right there. And our third one's up there. We also have turn signals on the mirrors and on the front. Now, if we do select a singular turn signal, we actually do have sequential turn signals, which would be on the front and back here. Sadly, none on the mirror, for obvious reasons, but we do have sequential turn signals on the front and the back, which is pretty nice, and that's for both sides here, which is really, really nice. Now, if we were to turn on the lights, we have our low and then high beams there, which is pretty nice. And it's an overall very, very nice and fun car to have. This car, I don't think it has any special features, and don't think any of them do, but again, you could go check the review, which I'll have the timestamp for that review up there. But it's a very, very fun car to have, and I would suggest getting it, you know, when you can. But yeah, that is the final car for the must-have cars in Greenville. And I think that is also going to wrap up today's video. So if you guys did enjoy today's video, then please leave a like and subscribe, as it does help me out. And then don't forget to join my Discord down below so you know when I post new videos like this one. That everyone, have a great day, and I'll see you guys again next time. Goodbye.